All right, Shalom Yashala. Call Halal Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah Waharakan Kodash Brakathum. I like to give double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Salutations to the select Namavikian, pushing his truth and sincerity in four corners of the round earth. And salutations to the select Namavikian that they're listening. Now, I'd like to just go over the recent rulings of Carmelo Anthony, what he was sentenced to 35 years, right, for the stabbing of Austin Metcalf at a track meet in Frisco last year, right? He got sentenced, I believe, the ninth, and that was that was yesterday, I believe. If I'm not mistaken, yeah, that was yesterday. And then Rick Chow, I believe, a few days ago, was found not guilty for the shooting of Cyrus what was his last name, Belton, Cyrus Carmack Belton of 2023. He was a 14-year-old Jake. Okay, he was a young man, very young, but still a young man. And Carmelo Anthony, young but still a young man, right? So it's just to be understood that, man, that these scriptures, man, they're a lifesaver, man. They're a true guide on how to move, man. And also it's a deeper look and a deeper lens on how, hey, the Most High got something for your ass when you disobedient, man. Okay, this is Lamentations chapter 2, verse 1. How hath Yahweh covered the daughter of Zion with the cloud in his anger, and cast down from heaven unto the earth the beauty of Israel, and remembered not his footstool in the day of his anger. Okay, so the Most High is hot with Yasharallah, man. You know, and real talk, a lot of these parents ain't making things better, man, because they're not, teaching their sons and daughters anything, man. You got to teach Jake how to maneuver. Now concerning the Cyrus Carmack Belton situation, it is tragic, but it is judgment from Yahweh Bashim Yashah, right? So we always have to factor that in. And that's judgment from Yahweh Bashim Yashah. Okay, and Jake, for the parents out there, you should be teaching your sons on how to move, man. Now you could, a matter of fact, bury me Baba Kusha. Oh, no. Salakia. Bear with me, Baba Kusha. There we go. This is Proverbs chapter 22, verse 6. Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. Okay? If you teach your sons and daughters, but this is more so, aimed at the sons, the daughters, they'll be for another day and another lesson. But as far as the sons, hey, man, you as a 14-year-old, why do you have a firearm, bro? That's what Cyrus had. Now though he was, leaving the store, I do recall, when someone's leaving, you shoot them in the back. That's a major offense. That's a major offense. You're in the wrong. But him being an Israelite, being a Jake, okay, anytime you go in an establishment, they're gonna ask you to take your backpack off. So I think in the video I seen, I believe Cyrus took the backpack off, but the Moabite, she was watching him. So it was alleged he had stole water and so forth. And then when he left the store, you know, he was chased and pursued, you know, so a gun had fell. So, but just think, even though the gun may have not been pointed at Mr. Child's son, because he said he shot in self-defense because he was feared for the safety of his son, right? So the gun was dropped, and with that little bit of evidence that they were able to find, they were able to what? They were able to let Mr. Child walk. Because I know for a fact people always like to bring that up. They're like, hey, when some, like, even if someone, which I don't agree with this point I'm about to make, someone breaks in my home, you know, I'm shooting, you know, you're shooting at the door. I'm in the state of Texas, you know, legal, you know, firearm carrier, okay, you know, you're shooting, you know, you ask questions last. No one's, hey, please leave. No, you in here, you apparently in here to do some harm, whether it's my goods or you looking to harm me, tie me up. So no, you know. But what's interestingly enough though, if they're leaving and I shoot, you know, I could be held accountable. Now Mr. Child, I don't believe he was held to them standards. That happened to find that gun on Cyrus. So my point is, like, why is a 14-year-old young man carrying a gun, man? You know, and especially knowing how this world views Jake, man, you have to, you know, a lot of Jake aren't properly preparing their sons, man. You just got Jake just going out here in the world and just doing shit, and the result is what? Hey, Mr. Child, hey, his store's still rocking. He still got his son. He still got his wife. He still got his family. Still got his cases of water and so forth. Okay. So that's the point I overall I want to make about this whole Carmelo Anthony and this Cyrus Carmack Belton situation, man. Okay, let me reread verse 6 again. Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. Okay, you know, you know, you just got to instill good morals, you know. And then too, hey, who said the parents didn't? You know, some Jake don't take reproof well. You know, some Jake don't. Some do, some don't. So if you're, you know, if your father and mother telling you something, you know, to keep you alive, it would behoove you to listen. Honor thy father, honor thy mother. So saith the scriptures, right? And I might as well get verse 3 in this Proverbs. A prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are punished. Okay, so with the Cyrus thing, if in all honesty, if I had a son, I just tell him, say, man, someone following you that hard, bro, it's just best to leave, bro. Especially since I don't know where you got it from, but especially since you had a firearm. But bro, someone grilling you that hard in their establishment, is just best to leave. Because the evil is what? Bad times, man. You know, like, you know what? I'll just go up the street. I'll just go to 7-Eleven. I'll go to a chain store and just get this water up here, or go get my Powerade or whatever Jake was getting, right? That would be the best move. But the simple pass on and are punished. Okay? So, you know, we're going to see a lot more of this. You know, the Lord is the Lord is moving. The Lord is not, you know, messing around with our people, man. Okay, I was in Lamentations 2, I believe. Okay, let me read verse 1 and verse 2, and then I'll jump to the point in verse 21. This is back in Lamentations chapter 2, verse 1. How hath Yahweh covered the daughter of Zion with a cloud in his anger, and cast down from heaven unto the earth the beauty of Israel, and remembered not his footstool in the day of his anger. Okay, So the Lord is putting hell on Jake because our people are what? Very disobedient. Okay. Verse 2. Yahweh hath swallowed up all of the inhabitants of Jacob and hath not pitied. He hath thrown down in his wrath the strongholds of the daughter of Judah. He hath brought them down to the ground. He hath polluted the kingdom and the princes thereof. Okay. So a lot of what we see today, whether it be Jake killing Jake or Jake getting took through the ringer through this judicial system. Hey man, because our people are disobedient, man. But here it is, we the bums, we the dumbass niggas on the highways and byways. Hey, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahshua, just giving you spiritual game on how to move. Okay. It's just like every person that offends me, I can't beat their ass up. I can't just go to the extreme. I ain't first and foremost, I don't have time for that, bro. We're in very trying times right now. And prophecy is always on go. Okay. Guess what? Prophecy ain't got no pause button. So if you think prophecy has a pause button for you, you're sadly mistaken. Okay. Verse 21. The young and the old lie on the ground in the streets. My virgins and my young men are fallen by the sword. Thou hast slain them in the day of thine anger. Thou hast killed and not pitied. Okay. So you're going to see more of this, man. You're going to see more of this. Okay. But you know what? But you know what's going to combat that through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahshua? Of course, Yahweh Shah HaMashiach coming back and getting his lick back. But this right here. This is Genesis chapter 49, verse 9. Judah is a lion's whelp. From the prey, my son, thou art gone up. He stooped down. He couched as a lion and as an old lion, who shall rouse him up. Okay. Because the system isn't going to work for Jake as it does the other nations. Right is right, wrong is wrong. Now, with concerning the whole Carmelo Anthony thing, like, bruh, there's no need for a knife at a track meet. Okay. And then too, I'm not sure if I stated this, and at the same time, hey, a lesson that was, that got him sent to the spirit world. Hey, you just don't put your hands on people and push them either, right? Okay. So, there were two lessons learned. It was a hard, and guess what? It's a hard lesson for two. Okay. Austin Metcalf is now what? In the spirit world. Carmelo Anthony is now what? Will be doing 35 years. Okay. So this has to, and now that it's, and call halal Yahweh Shem Yahshua for social media. I say that as a factor in how people's minds work. Like this, hey, look, first and foremost, we don't, hey, if you don't want to press play on GMS videos and so forth, hey, so be it. Trust me, my day would be just fine. The apostles, bishops, and elders on down feel exactly the same way I do. Like, first and foremost, this is for our salvation, but this is just spiritual game, and this is the cheat code, Yahweh Shem Yahshua, on how to move, how to maneuver. Okay. Bear with me, Baba Kusha. I believe it's 24 and 20, I think. This is Leviticus chapter 24, verse 20. Salakia. I'll start at verse 19. Well, hey, let me start at verse 17. Okay, this is Leviticus chapter 24, verse 17. And he that killeth any man shall surely be put to death. Okay, because, you know, like I say, you know, we get it if it was a different environment and so forth. But look, verse 17, and he that killeth any man shall surely be put to death. They, of course, what? They're not going to give him the death penalty, right? No, they're just going to kill you slow by taking your freedom away. Okay, that in that split decision, you decided it was good to get a blade and stab someone rather than squaring up or pushing them back, as the scriptures are going to state when I continue reading. Okay, see, E ain't got to shoot Jake in the street. Jake, you know, E can, hey, throw that book at your ass, you know. And everybody knows it's just things, you know, unseemly things are done in prison. You know, I don't need to go into, you know, detail. Those who know. Okay, let me skip down to verse 19. And if a man cause a blemish in his neighbor, as he hath done, so shall it be done to him. Austin Metcalf didn't pull a blade on Carmelo Anthony. He pushed him, right? You push me, I push you back, bro. Simple as that. Or Swingley, you know, because you've already initiated something, you know. You've already initiated, but you know it didn't warrant, you know, a blade or a pistol to come out. You know, it's a simple square up stance or push. You know, push him back. Hey, what's up? You know, that's how I came up. You know, that's how a lot of us came up. You know what I'm saying? You push me, I push you back, and asking you what's up. You know. Verse 20. Breach for breach, eye for eye, tooth for tooth. As he hath caused a blemish in a man, so shall it be done to him again. Okay, so you push me, I push you back. You push me, I don't stab you. But I will say this, outside of the whole track meet issue, you know, talking to myself first and foremost, Akiam, you know, just watch how we deal with people in the world, because a lot of people are off their rocker. A lot of people are nuts out here. Okay, I'm not even sure this phone has enough memory to talk about the interactions I've dealt with the past few years, bro. People are nuts. Okay, I'm gonna get one more scripture and close out, but just a small example. It was a Jake 3 years ago, got pissed off. Him and a woman got into it over a parking spot. This Negro lets off 20 shots. 20, yeah. You let off 20 shots in the garage, in a closed area, you know, like in a small area, bro, a garage, where bullets can ricochet off anywhere because there's vehicles in a cement and metal. Can ricochet at any time. That's just a small example. So I do want to state that firmly again, Akiam. Be careful how you moving out here in these streets, man, because people are ready to snap. People are looking for an excuse. You know, some people literally pick fights just so they could brandish, so they could brandish their firearms, so they can get busy. You know, it's just a sad, sick reality we live in. But it is what it is. But hey, the Lord did create spirits for vengeance at the same time, so make no mistake about that. Okay, bear with me, Baba Kosha. This is Ecclesiasticus chapter 39, verse 28. There be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction, they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. Okay, that appeases Yahweh Bashem Yahshua. Okay, verse 29. Fire and hail and famine and death, all these were created for vengeance. Verse 30. Teeth of wild beasts and scorpions, serpents, and the sword, punishing the wicked to destruction. Okay, so hey, Jake dying and living by the sword, right? We're seeing a lot of hard, a lot of hard lessons learned here, man. Definitely, got to rule your spirit and so forth. If possible, be at peace with all men. And hey, and if need be, hey, you just, be one of them people who just, hey, I ain't much of a talker. I ain't, if that'll help, hey, call Halal Yah Bashem Yahshua. If that'll help, hey, and that's perfectly fine. Hey, I know I'm not a talker. I don't do people out in public like that, and that's fine too. That could keep you out a lot of BS as well. Just a little advice. Proverbs. Yes, sir. This is Proverbs chapter 20, verse 3. This is a very near and dear scripture to me, which, all the scriptures are beautiful, but this one, this is something I, always try to work on constantly. This is Proverbs chapter 20, verse 3. It is an honor for a man to cease from strife, but every fool will be meddling. Okay, people who like to be in shit and about that life, hey, stay far away from them niggas as possible. There's no equity in that. There's nothing to gain from that but a 35-year sentence or to the spirit world. Okay, now, like I always like to say, let's not be simple. Somebody put their hands on you, you square the hell up. You know what I'm saying? Simple as that. I ask questions later, but you put your hands on me, hey, we squaring up. But once again, verse 3, it is an honor for a man to cease from strife, but every fool will be meddling. I ain't got time for a back and forth banter. Hey, all right, man, you go your way. Hey, you got it, bro. I'm crossing the street. I'm done with it. But that's all I have on this. And Abaratazah, this is edifying for the body. So once again, with that, call Halal Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Waharaka Kodash Brakatham. Once again, I'd like to give double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Salutations to the select number of Akyam, pushing his truth and sincerity in four corners of the round earth. And salutations to the select number of Aquat that they're listening. Shalom.